Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Liam of Bishop Vlogs. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the 3 treasures of Chinese medicine. And they are known by many names. They are in Hinduism, in that particular region of the world. But they're more commonly known in Chinese verbiage. So, the 3 treasures, their names are Jing, Qi, and what was the last one? Shen. Right, yeah. So, let's talk about what they are. Let's talk about how we can exemplify them in an analogy. And let's talk about some other things. So, Jing is, we often call it sexual energy, or just life force energy, or it goes by many terms. Let's get this light a little better. There we go, that should do. Right. That'll do. Alright, so Jing is, you get it by eating food. You gotta eat good food, though. So what Jing is, and I guess I'll talk about this now. Imagine a candle, and these 3 Chinese energies are like a candle's whole being. So the Jing, which we get from food and is powering us, is like the wick and the wax of the candle. So it is the fuel. So we eat food, it's fuel. But we need to eat a specific type of food. And what type of food is that? It's got to be good food. You can't just be eating Taco Bell all day. No, sir. I've been asked to make more videos about the Chinese medicine energies, as well as living foods. And living foods is something that I've picked up recently, and boy, is it rewarding to eat living foods. So the easiest way to eat a living food is to what you can do is you can take something like an almond or a peanut or some sort of seed, and you dunk it in water overnight, and this will start the germination process, and it'll sprout. It'll take a little bit longer than overnight, but the germination process starts and it becomes alive in this short period of time. It goes from a dead food into a living food, and it allows you to directly gain prana, which is Qi. And what Qi is the flame of the candle. So it's kind of the it's the energy. So when you eat living foods as opposed to dead foods, or I guess unalive foods, not alive foods would be a better way of putting it. So this would be like all your processed foods, your standard meats, your unless you're eating like you just shot a deer and you're ripping into its flesh with your bare teeth, then you're not eating living meat. That's kind of the one example I can think of for living meat. But if you were to go out and forage, like I do every now and then, I like to forage wild sorrel because it has this lemony taste to it. If you were to eat plants right out of the ground, it would still be alive. Fruits are living foods. You can plant a fruit and it'll grow, so it's still alive. Another thing I like to eat is wild lettuce, also called Lactuca canadensis, or Canadian lettuce. It has very, very, very slight psychoactive properties, and it's very fun to mess around with, because if you eat a half plant of Lactuca canadensis, you'll be feeling a little woo. But what it really boils down to is nutrients. You get nutrients, and they make you just all the more better. And just so we all are clear, this is in relationship to, oh my goodness, I hate this term so much, semen retention. But that's just because I am a very sex repulsed person, so excuse me. Yeah, so we got the wick and the flame, but what's Shen? Well, Shen is the reason we're doing all of this. Shen is the reason we're cultivating this energy, and I guess we'll talk about cultivating energy in just a second. My hands smell like fresh salmon, unfrozen salmon, I should say. I don't know how fresh it was, but unfrozen salmon, cooked in butter, flavored with garlic and salt. But oh man, it was so good. It was delicious. But Shen is spiritual energy. It's kind of the connection to God, but maybe it is God. I like to think of it as energy that we feed to God. So once we're topped out on Jing and we've cultivated it into Qi, then we start cultivating the Qi into Shen, and what Shen is in relation to a candle is it is the light. That's why I'm doing this in the dark with lights. Boom! So, yeah, so the reason we're doing all of this semen retention stuff is not so we can attract more women. We're doing it so we can have a closer connection to God. And what God is ineffable. God is ineffable. We cannot fully understand God except in very specific circumstances, which I don't think most people in the semen retention world can really understand. So God is, in my view, a consciousness. That's what gods are, that's what deities are, that's what angels are. They're all conscious beings. Even if they're just, I don't want to say subconscious or unconscious, but they seem to have their own reasons for being. And we can worship these gods, and we can give them our prayers, and that's how you cultivate Qi into Shen, is through prayer. Where do I go from here? What was I gonna talk about earlier? Oh man, I might have debated you guys a little bit. Because I'm very forgetful. Oopsie daisies. So Shen is spiritual energy. It's the light of the candle, and it's the benefits that we seek. So when we pray to a god, this god is the lord over something. And I think that a more proper way of analyzing this would be to look at angels. So angels I see as being aspects of the great God. So there's 72 angels in Kabbalism. Now, Kabbalism is something that I don't study because I like to stumble across things, and I hope to God that I find all 72 angels before I die, because I've already got like maybe 10 in the bag. Yeah. But so we pray to God, and God grants us favors based on what we need, what we're praying for, and I guess what we deserve. Trishula Mudra is like the quintessential mudra that I do. I just do it unconsciously at this point. I'm a little worse with it on my left hand. I can do it freely on my right hand. See that? I can't separate it without. Gotta learn to. But let's talk about asanas for a little bit, because I was talking about asanas with a coworker who I had her come to the realization that we have God within us, and he's not some extraneous force, big man in the sky is what a lot of Westerners think God to be. But God is something that is within and without. I don't know if anything I say is necessarily true, so you have to take me with a grain of salt. So always do your own research, and by that I mean meditate and pray for revelation. This video is already 11 minutes? Wow. Okay. Oh man, I guess we gotta wrap this one up. Thanks for watching. Remember to eat good, healthy foods. Don't be eating fast foods. Don't, the worst kind of food, the most dead energy, is canned food, believe it or not. So canned food, even if it's vegetable, it's super dead. I mean, like, imagine, like, you know how it's always salted in there, or it's filled with preservatives? Well, that's just, like, zombifying the food. And, now, don't get me wrong, your frozen proteins have a place for literally just fueling your body. It gives you Jing, which you would then yourself have to cultivate into your own essence, and then cultivate it into mental energy, which is Qi, and then process that Qi into Shen, which would be like your immaterial aura. But if you eat living foods, then it goes straight into Qi, and you don't have to process the Jing into Qi. So eating living foods, you're not going to be getting that that arousal that you might feel when you eat, like, you're not going to be weighed down like if you were to eat a bunch of beef. I recently stopped eating beef, and it's been a very eye-opening experience, because it turns out that beef is like one of the biggest weights on me personally. Like, I used to love eating beef and tomato soup with onions in it, and that is a super, super heavy meal. Like, so I guess for the final little bit here, I'll talk about the 3 doshas. I think they're doshas. I think that's what they're called. So there's Sattvic, Tejas, and Tamas. So these are the 3, you could call them weights of food. So Sattvic is light food. It's your leafy greens and your breads and fruits and vegetables like that. Sattvic. Let's talk about Tamas food, since that's what's on my tongue. Tamas food is like your super heavy meats. It can be like alcohol. It's really not good for you to eat tamas, but there are reasons to eat tamas, and that is if you're feeling sick. If you're feeling sick, you should be eating very, very heavy foods. Not particularly alcohol and cigarettes. That's not going to get you through it. But you need a little bit more oomph than just eating salads throughout your flu symptoms. And then there's Tejas, which is I might be getting that wrong. Don't quote. I'm not that proficient in Hindi right now. I'm working on my Duolingo. Tejas. No, Rajas. It's Rajas. Oh my goodness, Rajas. Tejas is Shen in Hindi. Oh my goodness, I hope no one clicked away from that. That's super embarrassing that I mix up Tejas and Rajas. So Rajas is like energetic food. it's chaos. It's stuff like coffee. Coffee is Rajas. And so is processed sugar. Even though that kind of borders onto the tamas side, it kind of works in a gradient. Where like the most sattvic food you could possibly eat is just pure prana. And I think I'll end it on that note because prana is key. Pun included in the video. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Liam of Bishop Vlogs. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. I love having a cop car because I got this red light for props.